Hi everyone, you're very welcome to the latest episode of Parleo Podded Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe and click the notifications bell so you don't miss any future videos and updates to the channel. If you're listening on audio only on Spotify or Podbean, please click follow. This week, Colin White from Liverpool band Joe Symes and Loving Kind returns to the podcast to have a catch up on what him and the rest of the band have been up to since our last interview in April 2021. We're also going to play a few of their recent tracks and promote their upcoming third album, Portmanteau, which will be released shortly. I hope I pronounced that right. Colin, thanks very much for coming back on the show. It's great to have you back.
Hi, mate. It's good to be back.
So loads have happened with yourselves since we spoke over 2.5 years ago at this stage. By then, we were in slap bang in the middle of lockdown. Things, just like one of your title tracks, have got better since then as a whole. We've had loads of updates, and I suppose we're looking forward just to catching up on those there. So before we go any further, it's going to go to the usual cheers and good health. Cheers to you. Best luck with the new album and happy Christmas to you in advance there as well.
And to you. Cheers.
As I was saying, 2.5 years ago, it was a frustrating time for everyone. I think we were in the middle of lockdown. You couldn't perform gigs. You're very limited. I suppose your progress was kind of hindered to a certain extent, like it was for a lot of people. But there have been a lot of updates since then. Do you want to tell us what you guys been up to since we last spoke?
Well, when we were last on, we were kind of sort of stopping and starting with the recording of the last EP, A Place to Call Our Own. We started recording it, and then the lockdown happened, so we had to stop. And then, obviously, there's kind of ups and downs, as we all remember, with like the kind of procedures that were happening. So we could go on for a little bit, then we couldn't, then we could, then we couldn't, and so on, so on. But gradually, it all picked up in the end, and we finally got to release. Better late than never. Obviously we went out there, promoted the EP with gigs and promotion all around the world. It ended up getting sold in all of the major northwest HMVs in the northwest of England, and we performed in store for that as well. And that was great. We hadn't actually done that before, so that was kind of a new thing, and that was different, but in a good way, to say doing like a regular gig. It was kind of like a nice intimate few Saturday afternoons in each store in Liverpool, Manchester, and Chester, and other places. And that was really good. The EP received amazing feedback all around the world. It actually reached number 8 in the 365 radio charts here in the UK. That's based in London. It's a big station. That stayed in the charts for about 5 weeks. And again at number 8, and that climbed higher than the likes of Florence and the Machine, Jack White, White Lies. There was an Elton John track that it beat as well at the time, as well as like a duet he was doing, and so that was, we were kind of proud of that. And a video went out for the title track too. That was made by a friend of ours, Jonathan Dolan, who's great, sort of mixed like short animated films, predominantly like little short horror films, which are actually really good. So you got to check them out. But obviously, this was like a bit different for him to do like a music video, a full music video for the band, and he put his own little thing, and we had our input as well. And and it came out really good. It came out, a lot of fun, a great fun animated video. It kind of had that sort of Beatlesy, sort of Archie's type of, Hanna-Barbera type of feel. Well, for me, it did anyway, and obviously a lot of people, a lot of people over the world really enjoyed that, and we were, proud of that too. And obviously, when we finished the EP, and when we went out to tour it, we pretty much immediately started to record what is now the third album, which is called Portmanteau, and that'll be out early in the new year. So essentially, the recording for both of these projects are kind of been back to back. So as soon as we finished one, we were right into the other one. In a way, we were kind of making up for that whole time of unable to do stuff during that down period. So we were kind of really sort of, we had other stuff there we wanted to get out and stuff, So we started pretty much straight away on the third album. So obviously we're in the process of finishing that. We're back in on. I think it's on the 7th. That's our next session there, and that'll. I think, with the exception of it, we'll think like 1 or 2 little vocal tracks. We're going to start the mixing process, and obviously that'll go into the new year. And the official date announcements for the release of the album will be announced very soon, and also be the pre-order announcements will be announced over Christmas time, which is like the right period to do it, because obviously people are spending stuff at Christmas and wanting to like buy things or pre-order things at least for the new year. So that's going ahead, and also the first track went out on the 28th of September on YouTube. That was a track called "It's All Too Late," and a video went out to that live on our YouTube channel on that date. And again, that's been getting amazing sort of feedback all over the world. It's had radio play as well, and obviously reviews and interviews like we're doing now. And that's also started to get airplay at halftime at Anfield by Mr. George Sefton, who's played many of our tracks over the past few years, and obviously he played tracks off the last EP and the album before that as well, and he's a big supporter of the band. Obviously, as a Liverpool supporter, you're obviously familiar with Mr. Sefton, but yeah, he's been playing that as well. He might have played today. I'm not too sure. I'll have to find out later, but he's definitely played in the past few games since it's been released. And again, the feedback for that's been absolutely incredible. And now we're just looking forward to getting this, the rest of the album out.
Great stuff. Yeah, I actually arranged to meet George. I suppose like yourself, I suppose I've done podcasts with a lot of people in Liverpool who I've never actually met in person. And I was over at Jake Abraham's funeral, God rest his soul, there last month. Yeah. And George turned up to the venue. He came up and I met him for a couple of hours. And I mentioned your band to him as well, and said he reiterated he's a big fan and he enjoys playing your music. So
yeah, that was nice. Man, yeah.
Jake as well, I suppose, who passed away, spoke very highly of you as a band and your ability as a drummer as well, Colin. I think I mentioned that to you. So
actually, I didn't know it because I never met the man in person. I was well aware of him because obviously he was in like Lock, Stock, and he had a small part in one episode of Red Dwarf, but he plays like this alternate lister in Red Dwarf, and obviously he's a sort of big Liverpool actor for many years and all that. But I think I saw him around Liverpool city centre a couple of times. I was, oh, I know him, as you do when you're around places like. But I never met him in person. But the fact that he was aware of the band and he spoke of us, very, very highly, that's nice to know. And it was sad to hear that he passed away because he was still a fairly young guy and stuff and all that. And wherever he is, God bless him.
God rest his soul. Just for the title of your EP, A Place to Call Our Own, you also climbed higher than Liam Gallagher and Ed Sheeran. Just add two big names to that list.
Yes,
that you mentioned, and that's a serious achievement, and you should be very proud of that. With regard to the video for A Place to Call Your Own, I'm going to put the link for that in the video description. And when I saw the first thing came into my head was King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead. Like the animation is very similar.
It's funny you said it because I think when we first started to see like the initial sort of images for A Place to Call Our Own, again, obviously, we had importing it ourselves, and there's like some Beatles things in there, and kind of art. For me, I kind of saw like little bits of like the art, like that sugar, like Archie type of thing. But yeah, when I first saw that, the initial sort of style of the animation, it did remind me of the kind of like MTV 90s. That kind of just have a little bit of Beavis and Butthead visualness, and there was one called Dr. Katz as well, which kind of like the vision was very moving around and but I loved all that stuff, and I'm repeating that show, Beavis and Butthead at the moment, like, obviously I loved that, when I was a kid and stuff and all that. And it's nice to see that. But yeah, it's good to it was actually, there's a lot of influences in there as well. But I just got to mention as well that the new track, It's All Too Late, that is actually it reached number 2 in the Isaac Bank charts in Australia recently, and it reached number 4 in the chart of gold in the UK. So obviously, not only was A Place to Call Our Own a top 10, but this now is now a top 5. So climbs a little bit higher again, like, and hopefully it's still in those charts, and it hopefully fingers crossed it should get higher again, like. So to get into like number 2 in Australia, number 4 here, to get that's another achievement to get. No complaints from us there.
Yeah, well, you've been on an upward trajectory really over the last 5-6 years. You've only been going in one direction, so it's good to see you've maintained the progress and keeping things going, and the momentum is with you. So that's good.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Again, a lot of like all of our stuff, a lot of effort's got into this new album again, and we always take pride in. We wanted to like we were really proud of obviously recently like the EP, really proud of that, and obviously we wanted we want this new album to be just as good, if not better. And even though they are sort of like companion pieces because they were kind of recorded back to back, they are kind of it is like the extension of it. You know what I mean? There was 4 tracks and then this new album. But the new album, it's again, it's we're fully in charge of the artwork of it, the structure of it, and everything. We have the saying, sort of fancy the way the approach of it and everything and all that. And it's got a lot of versatility because everyone's now heard one new track off the new album, and even though that's it's a great catchy sort of up tempo pop rock tune with a little bit of psychedelia in the middle. We kind of want to say to people that that's not the ultimate example of the album. That's only but one example because that's one track, and there's other tracks there that have got there's a few tracks with some string sections on. There's a bit of trombone on a couple of tracks. It's full of a lot of variety. For us, it's like the 21st century Revolver, and we're not afraid to say that there's a lot in there, and when people hear it, they'll understand that. Again, when we're getting back in, we'll obviously we're looking forward to just getting the mix and finalised, and finally for the rest of the world to hear it. And we're very, very, very proud of it. And again, with the video as well, we had we made that video. We with a little help from a couple of friends of ours. We excuse the pun. We basically directed it, and we're in charge of the editing for it and all that, and and the location stuff and getting things together and the ideas for it. That is us. Where when we kind of watched the finished article, we kind of thought to ourselves, what all the musicians and our bands and involved in designing our own artwork and stuff like that. I think we're filmmakers now, so there'll be plenty more of that to come in the future as well. So that's
the
I'm proud of.
Just to get back to the EP, Place to Call Our Own. The fact that you actually performed live in a HMV store is pretty cool. I've never actually saw that in Ireland, where a band actually performs in the record shop itself. Is that a common thing in the UK to have
Well,
bands?
in the past couple of years, HMV have started to do it again. I think a few of them. I think definitely. I think the Liverpool one, and I think don't quote on this, but I think Liverpool and the Manchester one definitely, as I recall. I think because obviously after the lockdown, they started from the beginning. I think they said that we were the first ones to actually do it in store. They obviously had everyone after that, but they said we were the first one to do it in Liverpool and the first one to do it in the Manchester one as well. So we were proud to be like the first ones to do that as the springboard for everyone else to kind of do that. I think there's been a couple before us in like the Chester one, and I think the Wigan one. I don't think we were the first ones to do that one. But I think, as I remember, they said, "Oh, you were the first on the roster of this series of bands to do it," and obviously, and bands are still doing it right now. Obviously, it's Saturday today. Obviously, there will be the band on today there as well. And obviously, with the new album, we'll be going back to a lot of the HMVs in the Northwest and doing the thing again with the new album. Like so, we started now, so we'll do it. We'll do it for everything else that we release. And why
It's a
not?
nice touch, really nice touch, and I'd imagine
Right?
you're connecting with your fans as well, which is nice, like that you're actually meeting them in person. I'd imagine after the gig or whatever, so that's good. So A Place to Call Our Own. When I heard it first, it kind of it's a song I could picture a bank or a building society putting on one of their ads for selling mortgages. It's got a nice message. A Place to Call Our
I
Own.
don't. On a bank.
No, but I suppose the message. I suppose the point is the tone of the song is I suppose about two people who are looking to find a place to call their own. Correct.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not on a bank cafe, but
Yeah.
the whole like sort of point of it is that it's a simple little thing about yeah, and it's a nice little thing about two people who want to be together and things like that, and why not, and why not?
But it's a positive, upbeat song, isn't it? Like it's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely, and I think the world needs positive upbeat songs, especially
yeah.
over the past couple of years. Definitely, yeah.
I think when it was released early last year, wasn't that right? 2022.
Yes, yeah.
The world was slowly getting back to normal at that point as well. So that was it was good timing to have an upbeat song released.
It was the right medicine.
We're just going to hear that track now, A Place to Call Our Own. So that was great, Colin. Great tune there. And to see the video of that, I'm going to put into the video description below as well. Now, the next one, the next track we're going to play here from the EP is Say You're Gonna Be Mine. Could you maybe, when I heard this first, it kind of reminded me of the Beatles a little bit at the very beginning. Has that been said to you before?
Well, you know, with a lot of our tracks, there's a definite influence in there. The one of our biggest influences, you know, the Beatles are in there. You know, we love like the Beatles and the Who and the Doors and Echo and the Bunnymen and even like Black Sabbath, Bacharach and stuff like that. You know, the Beatles influence is always going to be in, and that's not just because we come from Liverpool. You know what I mean? It's a band that we love anyway. So you know that you know the hardcore influence of a band like that is definitely going to be in those tracks. That please Say You're Going to Be Mine. That's the last track off the last EP. That's track 4, and again, you know, that's out of the 4 tracks that are from that last EP. I think that's probably one of my personal favourites that we've done live. Just comes across really great live. They all do anyway. But for me, that was one of the favourites of mine out of those new tracks, as well as the title track as well. Like so, and that always went across. Well, they all went across great live, but again, that was my favourite ones of recent and all that. Yeah.
Great. So we're going to play that next now.
Right.
Say You're Gonna Be Mine.
Girls in a twirl. in the hand. Are we going somewhere? Let's walk in the sunshine. Say you're gonna be mine. There's no need to worry. It all will work out fine. Let's walk in the sunshine. Say you're gonna be mine. There's no need to worry. It all will work out fine. It all will work out fine.
That's another great tune there, Colin. So now we're just going to move on, I suppose, to your new album and the new release from that, which the video that you mentioned has been released a couple of months ago. It's All Too Late. Now, there's a bit of a story behind the song, I suppose, the meanings behind it. Could you maybe just explain to our viewers what inspired the song to be written?
Well, I suppose the song itself and the video itself, again, it goes hand in hand. It's supposed, to kind of, without going into too much detail, because I always say, if you know, you know, but I think to do with like the fact that, about like, maybe longing back for like, times gone by. And I suppose that can apply to different people in different ways. You know what I mean? We won't apply to everyone in the same way, but applying what longer for times gone by, maybe more innocent times. In either broader picture or your own personal life and stuff like that. That's basically like the whole the whole shebang is really with the whole video, and it's got little sort of like little flashes of certain things and stuff like that. But yeah, look, longing for simpler times or innocent times.
The corruption of the Tory government during lockdown, I think, was an influence as well, wasn't it? With the lockdown parties and all that. I think Joe was saying that before.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that a lot of people probably weren't too happy about that when people were kind of, told not to go anywhere, and then the powers that be were getting drunk and ordering takeouts and having big parties and down in London. I don't think people are quite happy about that, and I think there's a lot of questions are being asked now about what were you playing and what was all that about? You know what I mean? It's like it's all right when we do it and stuff like that, but no, there wasn't that. There wasn't there weren't too many people happy about that. You know what I mean? There was there was.
Of course,
Sorry, correction. I mean, there was a lot of people that went who's happy about that. So there was a lot of people because thinking about it, it's still a bit of a sore spot when when you think about that. You kind of a lot of resentment builds up, and absolutely a lot of people are still not happy about that, and that'll linger in people's minds for a long time to come. And let's just say that we won't forget. We won't forget.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Animal Farm quote, like all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. That kind of hard.
Absolutely.
But I think Tories were never that popular in Liverpool anyway. But I think after that, another reason to dislike them.
No, that's gone off for a while, but I suppose it hasn't it hasn't helped that in any way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You really upped your game with the quality of your videos, like the last two with the animated one for A Place to Call Our Own, and the one you just said, It's All Too Late. And there's so many different random parts to the video. It's I suppose I don't know if they're meant to be connected, but they kind of shoot from different. There's so many different aspects. Like you have a screenshot of Anfield, you have a monkey clapping two symbols together, and do you know what it kind of reminded me of when I watched it was, do you know that scene in Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
When Alex is listening to Beethoven,
Yeah.
and there's like there's random things, there's like Christ crucified, there's Dracula, there's just literally just loads of random stuff that don't seem to be connected in any way, but it works. You know what I mean? I suppose it's the same in your video to It's All Too Late, that even though a lot of it, I don't know, I just didn't see the connection with a lot of the stuff in it, but it works the way when it's put all together, if that makes sense, so.
Everything in that video was connected in some way, shape, or form. It's like the more you watch it, and the more you kind of you look closely into certain things and all that. It's all connected. It's all connected. Believe me. It's
Okay.
that's down to the listener and the watcher. The more you watch it, the more you'll kind of get all the links.
There's random in the video, which I'm going to put the link in as well. There's a lot of, is it Latin phrases come up at random times during the video, or is what language is that? Is it?
There's a lot of different languages in there. To be honest, I can't remember which one's which, because when we've been in the editing suites and all, we kind of the memories of that are all kind of like
yeah.
together. And also, I think that things like there's some French ones in there. I think there's some Spanish and German and Portuguese, English, obviously. And what else is there? I think they're the main ones.
Yeah.
And I think there's an Italian one in there. And I think there might be something in Dutch. I think there's something in Dutch. I think something like that. But most kind of like the sort of mainland European languages are in there, with maybe one or two others, as I recall. Because again, the whole sort of production process of that filming process is kind of like congealed into one for me now, because we were sort of in the moment at the time, and once it was done, it was kind of like you kind of stepped away from it to go, this is the finished product, and then it went online, and it was like, right, our job is done here now. It's for everyone else to watch now. And again, the viewing figures for it have been absolutely fantastic too, and everyone's loved it. And the fact that we're not live as well, and people were kind of watching it all at the same time, that really sort of added to the whole sort of buzz about it. Like, so it was, really proud of it.
I'm looking forward, and so you should be. I'm looking forward to decoding and unraveling some of the meetings there over time. But I really enjoyed it, the video. It must have taken you ages to shoot that, did it? Because there's so many different parts to it. Like,
predominantly the filming took place, as I recall, all through June and a little bit of July, and then we started editing it through July into August, and we kind of done a few little bits of, like, say, post production on it during that process as well, like maybe some bits that we kind of didn't like and we kind of changed, or some bits we kind of went back to, or some bits we kind of left out that we didn't need and stuff, because there's always stuff on the cutting room floor as to what you film, to be a video or a show or film or of any way, shape or form. But as I recall, that was the process of what we did, and then again it continued through August with, like, when it was pretty much coming together, and the sort of order and the structure of it and everything. And then as I remember, I think that got finished, I think, by the very beginning of September. I think it was truly finalized by the beginning of September. And obviously at that same time as well, the track was already done anyway, so we obviously had to, like, get that mixed first before, even though some of the other tracks at that time weren't finished, then there's still best to be recorded. We need to get that track finished to get the video out at the end of September. And we did, like, the whole, promote, like, coming soon promotion for it, and, like, the date got announced and stuff, and through, like, September. And then obviously, so we got that done, and then it was all ready to go for the end of September, and it was kind of a bit of a countdown for it, announcement for it as well. And then so it all worked out. It was a lot of hard work was put into it. But as I recall, the editing, I think for me, I think the edit was the most important part, not in a bad way, but obviously it is, because you want to get everything together and tweak little bits and go back on bits and correct bits, and maybe you want to do other things and stuff. But the film, as I recall, went very, very smooth. And again, the editing, as much as like, that was for me, that was the most intense part about it. But again, not in a bad way. By the time, it was, we got it all together and all that, it just all happened. And then by the time we finished it, we kind of all watched it back and went, we made that. Well, job well done to ourselves.
Yeah,
now let's get out there for everybody else to watch.
I can relate to that with the whole editing thing.
Yeah,
my channel's there. Like, it is tough going, but it's so worth it when it's finished and it's done, and you can just look back and say, I did that now, and and it is a great feeling of satisfaction once you finally have it done. And
it's going to be obviously coming to that way now with the album, because obviously all the artwork for the album's done, which we did. That's all there, all the front and the back and the inside. We made a nice booklet for it as well. That and have like, little collages of photos and things and the lyrics and all other things like that. So this is the first time we've actually had a booklet for an album or any release of ours, So that's kind of another new thing that we did. And, again, we've got all the pages together and that's all done. And, we can, at the moment, we can look back at it on a screen and look at it digitally, but obviously we can't wait now to actually get it in our hands to go, there's the album, there's the booklet, take the booklet out and have a look at it, and for other people too as well and all that. And again, now that we're coming towards the end of the production of it now, with like sort of the mixing and all that, it's kind of like, right, we're seeing the end of it now towards the completion and everything. So again, that's going to be another proud thing when we finally get it in our hands.
Christoph, will you be releasing it on vinyl or is it just CD?
For now, it'll be on CD and digital downloads, and there'll will be hopefully other videos to come as well. That'll be the first of a couple of videos off the new album. Like, so we're obviously going to be looking into starting production of it, the next video in the new year, once the album roughly when the album's out. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at getting stuff on vinyl. We everything that we do, we want on vinyl. You know what I mean? But obviously, it's like this whole the vinyl printers at the moment and all that. And kind of there's a huge backlog, so it'll take quite a bit of time and a little bit of a wait to get stuff done on vinyl. So, but in the meantime, it will get done. It will get done definitely. But in the meantime, it'll be on CD and digital downloads.
Could you get it on Spotify, do you think? Just like some of the others?
Well, all of our stuff at the moment, our first two albums, our standalone single and the EP, they're on Spotify at the moment. The album will go on Spotify. Eventually, it'll go on maybe a little after the release, not too long, but that should go up a little afterwards to kind of give it a bit of sort of breathe, a bit of time to breathe, and so people sort of get stuck into it and everything. That'll maybe a little bit later in the year. That'll be on Spotify.
You'll be delighted to hear that I follow you on Spotify anyway, and I have you down as one of my favorite artists on it. So
that's good. Spread the word.
Like butter, as Joe would say.
Spread the word like butter. Uh-huh.
So we're just going to play the release from the new album now. It's All Too Late.
It's all too late. Nothing left but changes. It's all too late. Tearing up the pages. It's all too late. Look into their faces. It's all too late. Turn around in spaces, and the more you wait, the less you have to break it, and the farther you make, the less you have to fake it. Yes, it's all too late. Everywhere there's strangers, it's all too late. I need familiar faces, and before you break, the less you have to fake it, and the more
So again, another great track there, Colin. I'm going to put the link to the video description for that there as well. Worth watching, guys. It's interesting, a very interesting watch. And I suppose you've covered all bases in the city anyway there by having Anfield for the Liverpool fans, and you have a program from the 1984 FA Cup final between Everton and Watford, which Everton won for the Blues.
Yes, so that was nice did. Yeah. So we got best of both worlds there, so no one's left out.
Was that kind of the intention, just to include the both football clubs in the city, or was that just a happy coincidence, or?
It kind of just came together, really. The footage was, I think, was from the time that we got played, and the flyer, the program for the '84 FA Cup final. That was that actually belonged to our bass player, Alan Welsh. That belongs to him, because obviously he's an Everton fan, and obviously he's got Everton memorabilia and stuff like that. So that's one of the things this. So obviously he put that in there. We added that there, and that was kind of it kind of just happens. We thought, well, if we got something for Liverpool, even though it's just a quick little shot at the stadium, that was during the half time game from a couple of months ago, and we thought, well, we'll throw that in. I thought, okay, we'll throw a little bit of that in as well. So so no one's left out. I
like the 99 ice cream cone as well. They're always nice to see.
Yeah.
Do you know, during the video, I think there's a guy I'm just trying to find it here as we're talking. There's a guy kind of dressed up in the garden. Is that Joe? Or is that kind of
been doing this with the sort of flower?
I think yeah.
Oh yeah. That's it. That's Joe. Yeah.
So I was wondering.
We're all doing funny little things and stuff. Yeah, cool. Collectively and individually. I think there's a bit of me where I'm kind of walking up to a bricked up doorway, and I'm kind of can't get in.
I mentioned on about Liverpool and football there. Just for a bit of serendipity there. The last time we did a podcast, Trent Alexander-Arnold scored a very important late goal for Liverpool against Aston Villa, I believe. And that was before we filmed our last podcast. And you actually were featured in the match program that day as well, if you remember that.
I remember that. Yeah, we were featuring it. I think there was an interview. I think that was the same one. There was, Joe did an interview in it as well, and all. Yeah, I think we got copies of that as well. We got a digital copy as well. I remember because I've got it stored on a hard drive there to save and stuff. But that was a strange coincidence. That was definitely a strange coincidence.
And today, as we film our second podcast, Trent also scored a very important goal, which, in the context of the title race in the season, scoring that equaliser today at Man City could be a very important goal as well. So I think we should do more podcasts on days that Liverpool are playing for potentially important goals. Be a good omen. But I was looking there on your website, and was it Alan McGee, the guy who helped found Oasis, that he described your sound as Scousadelic?
Yeah, Alan McGee. He owned Creation Records. He signed many bands. He signed Oasis, Primal Scream, The House of Love, multiple other bands as well through the 80s and 90s. We did a couple of shows for him not too long ago, and apparently that was a quote. He put Scousadelic or Scousadelia. It was something like that. We thought, well, we'll take that on board. That's an interesting little sort of tagline. So we put it up on our website, and it's been quoted things as well. So we'll take that on board. An interesting little one, Scousadelia. Why not?
Yeah, and it's quick to the point, short, snappy, witty. That's good.
Absolutely. But so just go back to the video again. Obviously there's a lot of because we're in the video, obviously like the animated one, but now we're in real live action. We're in the video collectively, and there's a few of us roaming around doing things, and there's a few performance things acoustically and electric, and obviously Joe's doing the funny thing like that, and in one of his gardens, and
it's like a Teletubby.
No, it's a space hopper.
Yeah, but it reminds me of the Teletubbies there, when he's
it's a space hopper. He's got a space hopper, and there's a bit where I'm kind of on a broken up things, and I think there's a bit of like Alan kind of like looking around, with like posters behind. He's kind of looking around, seeing what's going on. There's another one of him as well, kind of sort of casually out whining and dining with a pint and a menu. And that was kind of like a little nice little sort of addition as well. So we've all got some nice little things in it, as well as some of the other things to kind of break it up as well. Like, but we, so we kind of got to act a little bit in the video too, which was a nice thing to do. Like, so that was a nice sort of springboard for things that we can obviously maybe do in the future and all that. But again, really proud of that, and we're definitely proud of the track too as well. Obviously, it really goes hand in hand, complements each other as well. And again, now it's time for people to hear the album, and obviously that'll be Christmas, so we can't wait.
So will it be the other side of Christmas? Is that, would you be thinking to be after Christmas when you hope it'll be released?
Yes.
It'd be hard to get. I know it's hard to pinpoint an exact date, but you could kind of a ballpark kind of.
Yeah, the mixing processes will all just be starting the week after next. We've got another couple of sessions after that, but obviously that'll give us the kind of the time to turn off the pre-order date will be announced in literally within the next week or two. So obviously over Christmas. Perfect time for people to at least pre-order, so whether it be like physical or downloads, and the announcements will go up to that with the links to the website and all that stuff. So that'll be going up literally in the next week or two, and then other announcements shortly after that will be hopefully the release dates, but that'll be very early in the New Year, definitely.
Your website, I'm going to put the link to your website in the video description anyway, so people can keep an eye on that there, just for latest updates and when it can be pre-ordered. What's your website name, just for the guys?
The website is www.joesymes.thelovingkind.co.uk, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now, TikTok, and the rest of the whole social media universe.
It'll always be Twitter to me, never mind what Elon Musk tries to
Twitter or
rebrand.
that, or whatever it's called.
It'll always be Twitter to me anyway. I don't think anyone calls it, this guy was on X yesterday and said this, it's always Twitter,
it might take a while. Maybe gradually people might refer to that, but I think in the not too distant future, people still say Twitter or X, or like I just said. Yeah.
There's 10 tracks on the new album. I remember you said in the previous interview about track 1 is quite short. And you had a very good kind of anecdote about that there, if you want to share with the viewers.
Yeah, I think yes, I think I mentioned a sort of previous interview that I think the first track is, I think it's the shortest track on the album. I think it's about like 1 minute and 57, something like that. And I think we were overdubbing like a guitar part or something and all that. And I was sitting there and I think Joe started playing it. And like I went outside to get something to drink, and then I went into the bathroom to kind of wash my hands. And by the time I'd done all that and came back in, the track had finished. It was like, I kept hearing it in the background, and I was like, "Oh right, I mean, it's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? It's not a bad thing because obviously, it's a nice, short but sweet introduction to the album. It's got some beautiful harmonies on it. That's like one of the favorite things of mine for the track. It's got these like lovely harmonies and all that, which obviously me and Joe do and all that. And it sounds really nice. But it's a great track. It's great, like up tempo, catchy popper to open up the album and all that. Beautiful harmonies. I can't emphasize that enough. So obviously people will get to hear that when the album comes out. But yeah, I literally had to go outside. I got something to drink, went to the bathroom, and I came back. It was like zing, end, and oh, it's finished already. Yeah. Okay.
It was like the irony where you spent so long producing that and filming and recording that, and just, as they say in Ireland, it didn't last pissing time in this instance, so it kind of struck a chord. But even myself, even for the videos there, even for my vlogging channel trailer, the train spotting parody I did, similar story, like it's over in 2 minutes, and the time that goes in. The only time that goes into that 2-minute video, it's insane. But once you have the finished article, it's well worth it. Then so
it's short but sweet. Yeah, short, sweet, and catchy.
Short and snappy, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Have you any upcoming gigs that you'd like to promote as well while you're on, Colin?
Well, obviously in the new year we're going to be back at the HMBs to promote the new album. We'll be playing in store as well. Those will be announced in the new year. The next official headlining gig that we've got in Liverpool will be in the Zanzibar. That'll be on 23rd of March, where we'll be a headline in that. And also on that bill, we've got a friend of ours, Ellie Jane Burke, great young singer-songwriter from Liverpool, and also a friend of ours, Andy Whittaker. He plays PC Swirling in Emmerdale. So he's an actor and he's a musician as well. He'll be doing a set with a friend of his, Andy Clegg, from the band The Sun of the Moon, which they used to be in. So they'll be supporting us. It'll be a great night. We get it back at the Zanzibar. We haven't played there for a while. It's been like sort of like, it's had a bit of a sort of like a sort of rejuvenation since we last played there and everything. So it'll be great to get back there. Great venue. So yes, that's the Zanzibar on 23rd of March. The tickets link is available from our website again, joesandlumcans.co.uk. So anyone wants to order tickets online, there's a ticket link on the website shop. So go there now and order your tickets.
I'll put the link into the video description for that as well. Zanzibar is on Seal Street, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the last time I was on Seal Street, I was at Liverpool Roma Champions League semi-final a few years ago. And it was actually a sad night for one of my countrymen, Sean Cox, because he was attacked by a Roma hooligan before the game and he ended up practically being brain damage. He's still recovering from it 5 years later. And I suppose I avoided that by 5-10 minutes because we walked around to the other side of the ground because that's where our tickets were. But aside from that horrific incident for Sean Cox, it was one of the best nights of my life, seeing Liverpool beat Roma 5-2 in the Champions League semi-final. And we were staying in the Art House Hotel on Seal Street. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but we had like a special suite. It was booked through an agency, Hotel and Ticket. So like there's only 3 of us, but there's literally the room we had. There was literally about 10 beds in the place. Like it was absolutely huge. There was like a Roman bath inside in the suite, like a proper. So they were drinking fucking inside the jacuzzi, a Roman bath, drinking bottles of prosecco that were below the reception before and after. Just a really, really good night, like, And so when I saw Seal Street, it flicked the switch with me there from the Art House.
I haven't been to the hotel. I think it's probably a new one because in recent years they've kind of like regenerated. Predominantly the part that leads down to kind of to like Hanover Street and place that part. They kind of like they've opened up a new lot of places and all that and renovated a lot of the buildings there because they were kind of like they were kind of left there for quite some time. Like so, but it's like because a lot of the buildings are quite old, so it's good the fact that they've like clean them all up. And I think they had the Only Fools and Horses bar down that end in recent years as well, and people have turned up there. And so I'm guessing if I'm wrong, someone please correct me on that. But I'm guessing it might be at that end. But I haven't been there personally.
Well, that's the first I've heard of an Only Fools and Horses bar. But if there is one, I'd be definitely checking that out next time.
I think, as I recall, it opened before the lockdown. I'm not sure it might have changed its name, whatever. But for the time that it was there, I'm not sure if it still is there because I haven't been there for a while. But I've never been in the bar itself. Like, but people used to like put up posts about it saying they were there with like taking pictures with like the car and stuff, and like they had like a replica of like the flat and stuff like that. I think it was something like that. And I think one or two of the cast members turned up there a couple of times. I think the fella played Bullshit turned up there before he died. Yeah.
The guy that played Denzel, he's a Liverpool actor, isn't he? He didn't pass away, did he?
No. That's Paul Barber. Yeah. As I know, he's still going. Yeah. Joe actually met him at a gathering. It was in support of the statue of Brian Epstein, and obviously there was like a lot of Liverpool sort of based people there from like the world of music and acting and football. I think Roy Evans was there, there's a picture of him and he was there with him and all. I said he was a really nice fella. I said he really loves our music and everything and all that. And he was talking about like acting work that he did in the past and stuff and all that. But he said he was a really nice fella. I never met him personally, but Joe met him, said he was a really nice fella. Yeah.
Very good. I was listening back to our last interview there, Colin, and you were mentioning about your granddad who used to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, he
Uh,
did. Yeah, Francis Coughlin. Yeah.
And that's the thing, I never actually asked you his name, which I can't believe I didn't ask in the interview. So you've answered that question of Francis
Coughlin, his name was. Yeah,
Coughlin, yeah. Very
yeah.
good. No, that's great to have in the family. Like that, as you said in the interview, his career was cut short. Like so many, like Shankly and Paisley, were the same as players. Matt Busby was because of World War II.
He was obviously called up to obviously fight in the war. He was, I think, as I remember, I think he was part of the his platoon's sort of squadron's football team because he was stationed in Gibraltar. And this photo somewhere of, I think I saw him years ago. This photo of this, so he did continue to play, but he's played in the in the regiment's football team because obviously he was a football player. He goes, well, let's have you on there, and I think he did quite well there. So he was still actively playing. And I think even when he was even when the war ended and everything, and when he came back, he was still invited to a lot of functions at Liverpool Football Club, and he met a hell of a lot of people as well. I always remember there was a funny story about that like he was at some function, like it was in the 60s or something, and there was obviously, obviously Shankly would have been there and all the others and all that, and he said, because obviously there was other people there, like Ronnie Moran, he said he knew him, and he said about, what's his name, Matt Busby was there, and he said, oh, hi Matt, how's everything doing at Man United? He went, oh, everything's fine, he's sitting having a drink and just chatting to him and stuff, and to think that, all these like sort of like, sporting legends, and he met a lot of these people from all different teams as well as Liverpool and all that. It's quite interesting. Maybe he kind of told it as a kind of like off the cuff story. That was that this thing, and he was there. As because to me, he was just like, oh yeah, in a casual sort of way. But it's nice because obviously now he's no longer with us. It's nice to like sort of have those photos there and other things too. Like, but yeah, and I think he would have been pleased about the fact that like in recent years that Liverpool won the cup again, and they won the Premiership as well. They won the European Cup again. Like, so obviously, he would have been very proud to see, that Jurgen Klopp's like, won them some more cups. He'd be pleased with that. Yeah, definitely.
He probably played with Matt Busby because one things that people forget that Matt Busby, although he's Man United icon and manager, he was a Liverpool player.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So that would have been the connection of him meeting him years later and chatting to him and stuff. Yeah.
There's a good line from Bob Paisley, I suppose, would have fought in World War II as well. Like he left to fight in World War II, and when he came back, and he's stationed in Italy, I believe. And when Liverpool got to the European Cup final, their first European Cup final in '77, it was in Rome. And Bob Paisley said, "Last time I came into Italy, I was driving a tank." So
well, that's true. He would have been, yeah. He would have been. That's very true. Very true. Yeah.
Kind of a similar Scouse invasion of Rome again, and they won the European Cup in Rome. They won a couple of European Cups in Rome. Actually, it was a happy hunting ground for Liverpool.
I've been to Rome. It's a lovely place.
Joe, one thing we didn't actually touch on in the last interview, but Joe is quite a talented artist as well. And I was wondering, that's not one of his pieces of work over your shoulder, is it? John Cleese.
He painted that. Yeah,
that's the John Cleese portrait, is it?
That's Edgar Allan Poe.
I know he's similar enough to Basil Fawlty there, like from or not.
I wouldn't compare. I don't know many. As much as I love Fawlty Towers, I wouldn't say that the character Basil Fawlty wrote any great horror stories like that man.
Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe was mentioned in one of the Beatles tracks as well. So that's another Liverpool. I think it's I Am the Walrus. I think.
Yes, yeah, it's a quick little, yeah.
So another Liverpool connection there coming in. So Colin, thanks very much for coming on the show again this evening. I wish you every success with the new album next year. I'll share it on my own socials, and we'll keep in touch. And if you'd like to come on again in the future, you're more than welcome to drop by again.
Yeah, when the new album's out there, we'll all come back on, definitely the whole shebang.
Great stuff. So thanks Colin for coming on again. Thanks you guys for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. If you're listening on audio only on Podbean or Spotify, please click follow just so you don't miss any future videos and updates. So thanks for coming on again, Colin. Thanks you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Parlay with Padre podcast. Good night. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.